So maybe you live somewhere where putting solar panels outside of your home is not really a reality. Maybe you live in a high-rise building. Maybe you live in a smaller apartment building. Maybe your landlord won't allow it, your HOA won't allow it. Well, now there's a way for you to get everything you need for solar using something like this from inside your home without even sticking it outside. So today we're taking a look at this sun-energized 12-volt solar charger and maintainer. Let's check it out. So for years, this is how I was able to have solar, so to speak, in my home. I wasn't able to put panels outside of where I lived. And, I might have been, but I really never asked. The landlord was pretty permissive there when I lived in California. But I never really asked, and I never really had the money to go and set up a big expensive panel outside of my home or the know-how to do it. Really, I was kind of limited in what I could do. So what I did was I had a 25-watt panel inside my window, and it ran into a small charge control that at the time cost me a lot of money, and into a single deep cycle battery inside my home. And what I would use the panel for was basically to top it off, to keep it charged up. It really wasn't about charging it from dead. I already had charged it with a battery charger, and I had all this inside a box that I built, a big battery box. As a matter of fact, we still have that battery box that we put all our garden tools in over on the other side of the garage here. So this is a way that you can set up solar in your home, even if it's just more of a maintenance or top-off charge, because this is a 10-watt panel. I don't want you to try and recharge a 100-amp-hour battery and expect it to be overnight with a 10-watt panel. But this will do an excellent job of keeping your batteries maintained and topped off instead of just dying. Now, with the advent of the LifePo batteries, the LifePo 4 batteries, you can have a battery inside your home safely. There's no outgassing of any kind of gases. There's no water you have to put in them. They're pretty much maintenance-free, and they have their own battery management system in them, but I still like using a charge control, and that's what this does. This is basically a 10-watt panel, and you'll notice the suction cups here. I instinctively, because I did it for so long, put them this way to stick it up in a window. You can do it the other way, too. There's holes on the back, too. And you can mount it, say, on top of your vehicle to keep something topped off while you're out. So this is a really good way that you can have emergency solar power ready in your home no matter what happens. So I'm going to explain this product to you quickly, and then we're going to take it outside and actually test it. And we are going to charge up my LifePo 100-amp-hour, LifePo 4 100-amp-hour battery with it. It's already fairly full, but I just want to show you it in operation and how it works. This does have a charge control inside. So that's going to save you some money right off the bat. The cheapest charge controls I've seen that generate a lot of RF, if you're a ham radio operator, you won't want that, are usually in the $14 to $20 range. This is included in it here, and it's an Mppt controller. It's actually in this section up top here. That's your little controller light. That's going to give you all the information you really need. Okay, and we'll get into the modes on that in a second. So with the maximum power point technology charge controller, the Mppt, you're going to get 10 to 20% more power than competitors. It's got a 3-stage charging algorithm, so it's improved to better charge and better maintain your batteries for an extended life. If you just take a 12-volt deep cycle battery and you take it outside, you charge it up outside of your apartment, let's say, you plug it in, you charge it up, because you don't want to charge those inside because you're worried about the acid and the fumes and all that. You bring it inside, you stick it in a battery box, and you forget about it. When you need it, that battery is going to be 11.4%. 11.4 volts, I mean. So it's a good idea to keep a maintainer on them. Also, too, if you have any kind of vehicles, off-road vehicles, tractors, whatever, something like this really comes in handy for maintaining the battery. That's not a vehicle you're going to use every day. So that's where this comes in handy. So this has full protections from overcharge, overvoltage, discharge, short circuit, reverse polarity, and I did test that, unfortunately. It is IP65 water rated. The battery is fully protected using this, okay? The LED is going to let you visually monitor the working status of the charge controller. It will be green when full, flashing green when getting there, and red slow flashing while it's charging. So you'll see it charge up, it'll charge red. Now when you get a fault, and I did this, unfortunately I wasn't paying attention, when you connect it reverse polarity, it'll be a bright red, and it just won't work. It'll just turn off. You just unhook it, hook it back up the right way, and it's fine. That is one of the benefits of having the charge control in panel instead of just buying a a $20 10-watt panel, you know, those kinds that sit in your car on the dashboard and you plug it into your cigarette lighter adapter. This is the benefit of having something like this. This won't mess up your battery or mess up the internal electronics. So you can use this as a trickle charger, maintainer. You can use it on a ton of different types of batteries. The wet cells, deep cycles, flooded, any kind of maintenance-free, LiFePO4, of course, lithium. Pretty much you can use this on anything because the charge control will recognize the voltages at which it needs to operate when you connect it to your battery. So let's get this outside along with the battery, and I will bring my meter along too to show you that it's working, and we'll give it a shot and see how it works. Now, I'm not going to be putting this in direct sunlight because I'm doing it on the side of the house today, and there really isn't much direct sunlight there to begin with. But it will definitely operate. It will work. You'll see it. So if people are like, oh, it's not charging the battery in 2 seconds, well, that's why. It's not in dead-on direct sunlight. So let's go set it up outside and give it a shot and see how we like it. All right, so we are set up out in the sun. I decided to do the front because there's less visual distractions out here, so it's easier to kind of see what's going on. If you look off in the distance back there, there's the panel. It's about, I don't know, 3 or 4 feet away from me. It looks a lot farther in the camera. And it does have the connector on the end. Now I wanted to show you quickly the different connectors. You're going to get a blank one that just has nothing on it. You can wire that directly into a battery if you want. You can put connectors on it, clips, whatever. It'll work perfectly. Okay? For our uses today, we're going to be using the clamps because I'm not quite sure how I'm going to use this situation yet here. I'm not sure if I'm going to put this in my window, charge this battery up. I'm not sure what I'm doing with it yet. So we're going to be using these, and these are just the clips, and they connect right there like that. Lastly, you do get a cigarette lighter adapter. Okay, now this is to charge the battery in your vehicle. However, some vehicles, when you turn off the car, it shuts off the electronics and it won't charge. It just blocks it. So you may need, if you have to use this, you may need to leave the key kind of half turned on where the electronics are on. Now that would probably drain a little bit, but it won't drain it as bad, and you'll be able to charge it up a little bit. So that's what this is for, essentially. Okay, and you could probably build a power box with an input for the cigarette lighter adapter and charge it from that too. That would work just as well. So again, this is not to top off the battery. This is not to fully charge the battery, I mean. This is to simply top it off. We're going to pull these down here, and I'm going to connect the clamps to the main connector here. I'm just going to push them in where they fit. Very simple operation. Okay, I'm going to take a quick reading on the battery first. I mean, no, it's not going to be low, but we're going to take a reading to kind of get an idea, a ballpark idea. So I'm showing 13.1, 13.10, 13.11 on it. Not bad. All right, so let's connect this and connect the black. I'm going to try to take you over to the charge controller to show you how the light is now blinking red, which means it's charging. Let me see if you can see that. It's right. Of course, it's in the bright sun because it has to be. So let's see if you can see that. I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it with my eyes, but I can't see it through the monitor. You might be able to see it. Anyway, that's what it'll look like. All right, so we're already up 0.01 volt, but it was 13.11. It's 13.2 now, 0.12. And of course, you know, you're not going to top this thing off to, 14 volts or anything with that. This is a trickle charger. It slowly charges up to what you need. So we're going to leave it out here a few minutes and see how we go. You notice I got the leads clipped in here with the thing. We're going to leave it out here and see how we do, and see if we get any higher than that. Well, it didn't take long. I shut off the camera, and the next thing you know, it was 13.13. So it is working. It is charging up the battery, albeit very slowly, which is what you want a trickle charger to do. It'll reach a certain point where it will sense that this is a lithium iron phosphate battery, and it will stop charging it. When it reaches that float point and that set point, it will stop charging it. So definitely doing a good job. I'm pleased with it. I'm probably, to be honest with you, going to be putting this battery in here on that panel back over there in my window just as a test to see how well it works, because I don't really have a use for this battery yet. I do want to eventually build a power station with it, but a larger one, but I don't really have a use for it. So hey, what better use than put that panel on it and keep it maintained. All right, let's bring it back inside. I will finish up the info on the panel, and give you all the info you need to know on it and let you know the price on it. Alright, so we're back inside. You notice I've taken the suction cups off there just to show you what it looks like just as the panel. You can put them on either way, doesn't matter, they just go in there and slide over. Very, very simple to operate. Definitely something worthwhile to have if you have an extra battery to maintain. I am reworking some of my storage area to sell off some stuff I no longer need. And I'm going to be putting this in the window and using it to top off that LiFePO4 battery just to see how well this works long term. I also don't have a use for that battery yet, so I really don't want to just let it sit on the floor and discharge and not use it, because they're kind of expensive. So I want to definitely use it up. So let me give you a little information on this. The weight total on it is 3.56 pounds. It's 16 inches across here by 9.4 inches by 0.6 inches thick, so not very big. Again, the operating output is 10 watts. You're not going to top off the biggest solar generator or charging or batteries or whatever. You're not going to be able to do that with this, but you are going to be able to maintain it. And for those of you that use the smaller gel cell batteries, this is actually a viable option to keep it charged up. So it will work, and as you can tell, it even brought it up a little bit outside there, just testing it in like 5-10 minutes. So I can't really complain about it. That's what it's meant to do. It's meant to trickle charge. The operating current is 0.5 amp. Your open circuit voltage is 21.6. Short circuit voltage is 0.67 amps. Trickle charging current is 0.15 amp. And your free charging voltage, your floating charging voltage, is 13.8. It will go into overcharge protection at 14.4. Remember, this is a 10-watt panel. Its main function is not to fully charge your battery. It's to keep it maintained and topped off for when you might need it. If I have that battery, say, in my high-rise apartment in the middle of Midtown Manhattan, I can keep it topped off with that charger. I can plug it in the wall, charge it up to where I want it, maybe 13.8 volts. I'm good. Then put this in the window and let this do the rest of the work for me. So that way it keeps it topped off, fully charged, and ready to go for when you need it in an emergency. For a smaller battery, maybe for cell phones and stuff, this would be fine. But for bigger batteries, this is a maintainer. It also works for your motorcycle you maybe ride once a month, your scooter, your e-bikes if you convert it, if you get an up converter to 48 volts. So all in all, it's a pretty handy little item. Price on it is $59.95, so yeah, $60. There is a $5 off coupon, on the site underneath the price on Amazon right now. Now, if you're watching this video a month from now and you're like, there's no coupon there, no kidding. It's only temporary. I don't know how long it'll last. But for something basic, for a simple little basic charge-up type system, I think this is a really viable option and a really good deal. You really can't beat it for the price. I mean, you get a charge controller plus everything else, and it's not too bad of a price, and you don't need to buy that charge controller. It's already in here. So, definitely a good deal. Anyway, folks, thank you for watching. I will put the link down below to this if you're interested in it. I mainly picked it up because I always have batteries that are extra, and I want to top them off, and I want to be able to do it responsibly without having to buy a second charge controller and not just overcharge the thing. So I think I'm going to try this out and see how it works. We'll give you a long-term review after I get it set up and let you know how it goes. So don't forget to check out this link down below, as well as it'll be in our Amazon store. You can see our Amazon store down there too. If there's anything in the store you might want to check out, stuff I've used in the channel, feel free. If I forget a spec on something and you want to look it up, you can go there and look it up. Below that's our freeze-dried wholesalers. It's a new month. Time to get stocked up, folks. The food supply chain is not going to get any better in the foreseeable future. So getting yourself some quality, long-term storage freeze-dried food is very, very simple from freeze-dried wholesalers. My link saves you 15% on the whole site. Nothing is off limits. And he has everything from cheesecake to filet mignon freeze-dried. So definitely check him out. Below that, we have our My Patriot supply link. Okay, that's preparewithiridium.com, preparewithiridium.com. We have a deal on there if you have absolutely nothing. Okay, you're getting started, you're watching prepper videos, and you think, my God, I have no food. What am I going to do? And you want to run out to the nearest Walmart and buy, $1,000 worth of food. Well, we have a 3-month supply there. Okay, you're going to get $150 off by using my site, which is preparewithiridium.com, off a 3-month supply. Now, if you don't have the money for a 3-month supply, and it's actually very affordable, it's under $1,000 before the $150 off, so you'll save some money on it. But if you don't have the money for that, we have a 4-week kit, 4 weeks of food, $50 off on that too. And below that, we have our Thrive Life freeze-dried food storage. Don't forget to check that out if you're interested in Thrive and Don't forget to check out our Jace Medical link as well. These guys really help us out on the channel. You're able to get yourself some antibiotics legally through a telehealth visit. One-time shot, you get your antibiotics, and you get a good amount of them too, so it's definitely worth it. Anyway, folks, thank you for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.